I know we don't know any, do we? We all atheists.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Woo! Good morning, Unity Renaissance.
Good morning, everyone. Please stand and join us for our C1.
All is well, life is good. I am truly blessed.
You all gonna sing with me, right? All is well, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. I will shine so that everyone can see. I let love divine daily flow through me. All is well, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed.
You believe it?
I will be the change I want to see, and let harmony daily flow through me. All is well, life is good. Yes, I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed.
All right, let's hear it together.
All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, life is good. I am truly blessed. All is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed. I am truly blessed. I am truly, all is well, yeah, life is good. I am truly blessed.
Good job, you guys. Oh, you deserve a bigger hand than that. Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Renaissance. Gosh, what a gorgeous Sunday morning, isn't it? Wherever you are, those of you who are watching us online, I hope it is similarly a beautiful morning for you. Always feels so good to be together, whether in person and online. I hope wherever you are this morning, you have that sense of feeling connected. and knowing how loved you are. And also perhaps feeling a little extra dose of gratitude today. Well, unity is positive, practical, progressive Christianity. We follow the teachings and the example of our way shower, Jesus, in seeking to more fully love ourselves, love God, and love one another. And from that beautiful consciousness of love here in unity, we honor all paths to God, all names for God, and all expressions of God. And each and every one of you, and each and every one of you, and you, is an expression of God. It's true, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And when we come to that realization, when we really know that about ourselves, who we most truly and deeply are, when we connect with that inner light within us and we shine it out, behold it in one another, together we light up the world. Our vision at Unity Renaissance is, together, a spiritually awakened world, living in peace, love, and joy. And we are manifesting that vision through our mission, which is, together, we transform lives that transform the world. Let's begin our time of transformation this morning in prayer. I invite you to get comfortable in your seat and take a deep breath in. Release and let it go. Just know at this moment that you are here by divine appointment. You got that nudge from Spirit to either be physically present or to tune in. Something in you said yes, yes. And so we praise and we give thanks for this inner guidance within us, the presence of God within us. Sweet Spirit, we know that we are here to do a mighty work, each of us in our own lives and all of us together. We are wide open today to divine inspiration, to divine guidance and insight, and most of all, divine love. We go forward from this time to do what is ours to do, to bring about more peace, love, and joy in this world. We bless our journey, we give thanks for sharing it, and we say thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Time to stand up again, y'all. There's God in everything. Look around. 2, 3, 4. Here we go.
I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything.
All right, you know it.
I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything.
We're going to choose now. Ready?
I choose joy, I choose peace, I choose goodness surrounding me. I choose love in every breath I breathe. I choose God in everything. I choose happiness, I choose freedom. I choose beauty that lives in me. I choose perfection in what life brings. I choose God in everything.
And now from that beautiful place, that beautiful presence of God within you, I invite you to join me in our divinity salute as we turn to greet our neighbor with a bow. Together, the divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
I know joy, what life brings. I know God's in everything. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God's in everything.
Here's where you sing.
Namaste, 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 namaste.
Good job, you guys.
Wow, isn't our music team incredible? And so thank you. You know, I feel so uplifted and so psyched, and like little tunes were running in my head even like before the service started. You know, they had been practicing, and so I had this lovely earworm in my head of positivity from the song. So, you know, hope we all go away with those today. So thank you. You know, hello, I'm Heidi Kohlberg. I am a joyful, exuberant, enthusiastic member of Unity Renaissance, and it is a delight to share the morning with you and to be in a room full of positive people who are working on, you know, making this world a better place. We could use some of that. So thank you for investing in yourselves and in one another, in being here, you know, whether in person or online. Hi to all of you online too. You know, so the daily word, our word for today is guidance. Please join me in our affirmation together. I open my mind and heart to receive my guidance. Sometimes I've insisted on figuring things out for myself rather than asking for anyone's help. Over the years, I've learned the value of asking for guidance and sharing what I've learned when asked by others. As we exchange ideas, we may tap into higher wisdom that had not been apparent to either of us alone. This higher wisdom is not outside myself. It is a still, small voice, mine to call upon at any time. I am always able to ask for guidance to show me the way forward. I access my inner guidance by opening my mind and heart in prayer. Then I watch and listen, remembering that divine guidance may come in a familiar way or perhaps in an unexpected way that will surprise and delight me. And that reading was inspired by our scripture verse, which is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. If you'd like prayer support today, we have a prayer chaplain available to pray with you. And would Hazel Gaines please stand? She's our prayer chaplain for today. So she's available to pray with you in the chapel after service. You may also fill out a prayer request form in the narthex or submit a prayer request form online if you'd like to as well. So thank you for all being a part of this beautiful day. Would everyone please stand and join in the Lord's Psalm?
Praise your name, your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptations, Lord, deliver us, Lord, into your fold.
heaven.
We praise your name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Your will in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Supply our needs.
Give us this day
Lord,
our
from
daily
day
bread,
to day.
and forgive us our debts
Let your
as we have forgiven our debtors.
guide our way.
And lead us not into
Lead us
temptation,
away
but deliver us
from
from evil.
temptations.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
Into your fold, for all the kingdom, power and praise, with you began and with you stays.
You may be seated. You know, Peter Mayer's an amazing songwriter. We've done a lot of his songs. Holy Now, Blue Boat Home, The Birthday Party, God is a River. And he's packed so much meaning into every lyric. We decided we're going to put the lyrics up for you today to listen to as we sing this song, because we don't want you to miss a word. It's about gathering in new knowledge. You guys ready? 2, 3, 4. The sun once went around the earth according to the Holy Church, which helped to reassure the people that they were the center of the universe. One day His Holiness the Pope met a man with a telescope and said, "Hey, Mr. Galilei, what does your spyglass say?" And the scientist spoke. He said, "It's really quite amazing, entirely life-changing. So let me ask before I show you, do you really want to know? Whoa, do you really want to know? Whoa." Emma wasn't looking for direction. She said she was a child of heaven, and that the human race came from a higher place, from the angels descended. She wound up marrying her cousin. He was a thinker of a husband. Lost in thought she'd find him, say, "Charlie, what you writing?" Darwin looked up and said, "It's really quite amazing, entirely life-changing. So let me ask before I show you, do you really want to know? Whoa, do you really want to know? Whoa, do you really want to let knowledge like a breeze in through the door of your belief, blow through the rooms and the corridors, knock cherished heirlooms to the floor? That wind can raise the roof sometime and leave you blinking at the sky. Oh, so if you stare into this glass, beware that there's no going back. You'll say sunrise, but it will refuse. Instead, the earth itself shall move and spin you round from dawn to dawn into the wonder of it all. Thank you. Good man.
So good, so good. I grew up in a household with two atheists, my father and my sister. From time to time, we would have lively discussions about whether God exists. And during these conversations, my mother, who had fled a very strict Southern Baptist upbringing when she was a teenager, she would remain a neutral observer. But my father and my sister would get quite animated. And it seemed to me that their atheism was fueled by two things: incredulity and anger. They were incredulous that people could believe in a superhuman up in the sky who grants or denies our wishes and determines our eternal fate. There was just no logic or reason to that. And they were angry that organized religion used the image of a judging, punishing God to instill fear in people and to control their lives, choices, and behavior. Well, I understood their points. In fact, I agreed with many of their points. And yet I always left these conversations feeling frustrated. And now I know why. My sister and my father were rejecting a specific concept of God. And I wanted them to consider a different concept of God. Well, it turns out atheism doesn't work that way. Actually, by definition, atheism rejects a specific concept of God, not all concepts of God. The word atheism actually means, quote, disbelief in the existence of a supreme being or beings. It refutes the theistic concept of God as a supernatural power external to the world. But as Bishop John Shelby Spong so perfectly pointed out, quote, the alternative to theism is not atheism. It's a new experience of what the transcendent is all about. You know, many atheists who have experienced the transcendent have discovered a whole new understanding of God that they not only embrace, but revere. Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin are two examples. Both of these so-called atheists actually believed in God. It just happened to be a different kind of God. They did not believe in a personal God who sits in judgment and rewards and punishes his creatures according to their behavior. They didn't believe in God as a super being in the sky who created the universe in 6 days, 6,000 years ago. For Einstein and Darwin, God was much grander, more amazing, and more mysterious than that. Einstein beheld God's handiwork in the intricacies of physics and mathematics and the wonders of the universe. He believed in a universal mind or spirit that transcended the universe and was beyond our comprehension. Einstein spent his life trying to comprehend the order, quote, deeply hidden behind everything, and describe it mathematically. In a 1930 essay on religion and science in the New York Times Magazine, Einstein said he had a, quote, cosmic religious sense, unquote, of, quote, the nobility and marvelous order which are revealed in nature and in the world of thought. He also believed in eternity. And he said, there is, after all, something eternal that lies beyond the hand of fate and of all human delusions. Charles Darwin had a similar reverence for God's creation and marveled at the mystery behind it all. His theory of evolution was not a condemnation, but a revelation of how God is the creative force had established the patterns, the laws, and the ways of existence. Darwin was awestruck by a God who so brilliantly embedded in his creation its own ability to create and evolve. He himself said, "When I wrote The Origin of Species, my faith in God was as strong as that of a bishop." Does that surprise you? Krista Tippett is the author of a book called Einstein's God. She also hosts the NPR program On Being. She says it is not at all uncommon for scientists to be spiritual. She writes, quote, "Scientists are often seekers who are motivated by a sense of awe and wonder," unquote. Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, and Newton all believed their discoveries would and should widen human comprehension of the nature of God. Today, Francis Collins is the director of the National Institutes of Health. He's also the former head of the Human Genome Project, which studied DNA. He went from being an atheist to being a believer in God after witnessing, quote, "the amazing complexity, diversity, and awesome beauty evident in even the tiniest elements of creation." The sense of awe and reverence for creation often leads to a spirituality that is mystical, wherein we experience a sense of oneness with the divine. Albert Einstein wrote, quote, "The most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mystical. It is the sower of all true art and science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger is as good as dead. To know that what is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself to us as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their most primitive forms. This knowledge, this feeling, is at the center of all true religiousness. In this sense, and in this sense only," he wrote, "I belong to the ranks of devoutly religious men." So much for the conflict between science and spirituality. This idea of the mystical, mysterious, transcendent God being described here actually aligns beautifully with what we teach in Unity. You see, in Unity, we do not teach that God is a being, but rather God is beingness. I think of God as the great, overarching, transcendent presence that is also immanent and inexplicable within us. It is the one power, one presence in all of life. And it has as its central quality this mysterious sort of higher order that unfolds through creation into greater complexity, greater beauty, and ever greater what we would call goodness. You see, we really can't explain God, but we can experience God. Ultimately, God is a mystery, and that's okay. That's okay for me. I actually love that. I love the sense of awe and wonder that I have at things that I can't comprehend. I love to just give it up to something beyond me, something we haven't figured out yet, but is yet good. And these phenomena that, all of us on the spiritual path kind of encounter from time to time, intuition, premonition, deja vu, coincidences, synchronicity, all of these things, to me, are both mystifying and delightful, are they not? Several years ago, I was getting ready to marry a couple, and I had my conversation with them, preparing for their wedding, etc., and I said, hey, if you would like, I can get a calligrapher to write your names in really beautiful lettering on your marriage license, and then you can have that framed. And they were like, oh, that'd be so cool, we would love that. It's like, great. As soon as the conversation was over, I called up the calligrapher, only to find that she'd moved away and she no longer does calligraphy. So this was a oh dear moment. And I began looking around for somebody that knew calligraphy. Nobody knew anybody. I was striking out. The day was approaching to get this thing done. I was just about ready to give up and tell this couple, sorry, we're not going to be able to do that. And then I was sitting in my office one day, and I noticed a woman standing out in front of our bulletin boards, looking at the postings there. I'd never seen her before, so I stepped out and started talking to her. She said her name was Jennifer, and that she had just been walking by our building. She'd never been here before, but she was walking by our building, and she suddenly felt compelled to come in. She said, I don't know why. I just got the message that I'm supposed to come in here. I said, well, how sweet is that? So turns out Jennifer was an artist. I started talking to her about her art and the things that we have here at Unity Renaissance. I invited her to come to church sometime, and just as she was getting ready to leave, I said, by the way, do you happen to know calligraphy? Sure, she says. Really? I said, do you think that you could inscribe a marriage certificate by, tomorrow? She goes, I'd be happy to do that. Now, how did these things happen, right? I mean, Jennifer Thomas, she ended up coming to church here. She did a lot of marriage certificates for us. She was a member, taught in our school in our youth ed, till she moved to Georgia. But why do these things happen? You know they happen to you as well. There's so much in our world that we don't understand today. There's so many different factors at work. Like, how do the energetic fields and the vibrations that everything is emitting, how do they attract and how do they influence one another? Right? How do the right people show up at the right time? Even looking at quantum physics, it's pretty mind-blowing. What is the universe really made up of? Because the scientists tell us that if you look at the tiniest particles, subatomic particles, and you dig and you dig and you get right down to the very center of them, there's nothing there. There's nothing in the middle of them. And how does prayer work? We don't really know, right? And how is it that we're all connected? You see, what we lack in understanding, we can practice in appreciation and that sense of awe and wonder. And then when the inexplicable graces come into our lives, we can just say to ourselves, that's God. That's God. Don't understand it, but that's how I choose to see it. Back in May, I went up to visit my daughter and her family. It was my granddaughter Maya's first birthday. So I went up for the party, and it was fabulous. We got up there, it was on the day of her birthday. We were running a little bit late. We were going over to my son-in-law Rich's, his parents' house. They were hosting the big birthday party. So we're rushing around getting everything together, and Rich, my son-in-law, said, I'm going to go get the car. They live in Upper Manhattan, so it's kind of a big deal to get the car and all that. So we went down to get the car, and Emily and I gathered up Maya and all of her belongings and whatnot, and then Rich called to say that he was downstairs with the car. But when my daughter answered the phone, she said, oh no, are you okay? And as it turned out, Rich, in his hurrying to get there, when he made the U-turn and the busy street that they live on, he had clipped a parked car. And he was very upset. And we went downstairs, and it was obvious that he was shaken by this, and we all took a look at it, and it was this great, big, black, shiny, new-looking SUV with now a great, big, long scrape up the front left fender. Rich just felt so bad. He was beating himself up. I shouldn't have been going so fast. How'd this happen on his daughter's birthday? All this stuff going on. He took a piece of paper and he went over and he wrote. Took a little bit of time actually. Wrote this note to the owner of the vehicle and put that note in their windshield. And off we went to the party. We ended up having a wonderful birthday party. But I also knew, because Rich is a very sensitive guy, that this was kind of hanging over his head. So we got back, and it was about dusk. And miraculously, we found a parking space almost right in front of their apartment building. It was a couple spaces back from the black SUV, which was still parked there. So we gathered up our stuff, and we were just about to go in to their apartment building. And when we looked, and we saw a woman standing by the driver's side of the black SUV, and she was reading the note that Rich had left there. She was wearing scrubs. I think she must have just gotten off work from the hospital. She was reading this note, and so we sort of froze. And we looked at her, and she looked at us. And then she said to Rich, "Are you the wonderful person who left me this beautiful note?" And Rich said, "Oh, I feel so bad that I hit your car. Of course I'll pay for the damage." This woman looked to me honestly, like an angel, maybe because she was so sweet and we thought the owner would be so angry. She looked at her car and she goes, "We may be able to buff that out. I'm not too concerned. If it knocked the wheels out of alignment, I'll contact you. I have your contact information here." Well, she never did. But I have to tell you, that moment was such a moment of grace, because think about it. I certainly thought about it. Think of all the moments in the day, all the seconds, all the interludes, right? This was a matter of like a 30-second exchange. We'd been away all day. Here we were, got the parking space right when she was there. What are the odds of that happening? You can tell yourself, "Oh, well, that was just a coincidence. That was a happy coincidence." But I say, that's God. That's God. Some of the sweetest, most wonderful moments that we experience. They say God works in mysterious ways and often surprising ways. And that has actually been true also in my family. So my mother, who raised me on the power of positive thinking, when I found unity, she fell in love with it. And when she would come to the services, she would always cry during the peace song, because she taught us that song when we were in Brownie Scouts. My sister, still an atheist, lives in rural Florida, but she really loves unity. And she says if she ever did go to church, she would go to unity. And even my beloved father, my die-hard atheist father, eventually found a church that spoke to his heart. He loved it so much. After he went there on a Sunday, he would call me and he would say, "You really should listen to this minister. She's so wonderful." And that church was Unity of Delray Beach, Florida, the town my dad grew up in. And that minister was Mary Kupferle, one of the finest, most outstanding ministers in unity. Albert Einstein said, "Never lose a holy curiosity." There's always more to learn, to explore, and to understand. And so our job, your job, is to stay open, to pay attention, and enjoy the wonder of it all. Let's turn now to meditation. I invite you to get comfortable in your seat. Just relax. Close your eyes if you wish. Take a deep breath in. Release, 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 and let it go. Become attuned to your own breathing. The beating of your heart. The miracle of your own physical body working this very moment to serve you. Take a moment now in your mind's eye to sort of scan the landscape of your life. The people you love, people who love you. the sights and sounds and experiences that have touched your heart so deeply. How beautiful, how wondrous, how amazing. I invite you to steep yourself in this energy of the mystic, the mystery, the grandness, the sweetness of something higher than you that is working in and through and as you. Let go of your thoughts, worries, concerns. Sweep them aside and open up to the radiant presence of God blessing you for a few moments in the silence. As we let go into this presence, we begin to feel gratitude within us. We go forward from this sacred time together, seeing with eyes the wonders of the world, the wonders of life, the many blessings all around us and within us. We're so grateful for those who paved the way for our expanding consciousness, our deepening knowledge, and we go forward to do our part, to keep learning and growing. Always turning our thoughts and our sights to greater love and the God of our understanding. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Well, this is the time in our service for sharing our love offering in support of this community. I invite you to give from a place of gratitude and generosity within you. As you have received from Unity Renaissance, may you give back in kind. And know that as you do so, in the very act of doing so, you are also blessed. We're so grateful for your contributions, not only to our operations, but to paying off our mortgage for our capital campaign. Thank you. Every single dollar is so appreciated. There are many ways to give to Unity Renaissance. You can find out all the different ways online on our website or on our app. Perhaps the easiest way to give is through your smartphone. You text the word give and thereafter the amount you wish to donate to
540-418-1228. Text now.
Checks. You can certainly do so. We have a love offering basket in the back, and we appreciate that as well. With that, I invite you to hold your gift in your hand, and let's bless it with our offertory blessing. Together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Right, here he is.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Back in good measure, it's given back to you. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. It's one power, one power, one power. One power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that's most deep. It's one power. One power. What we are is one power. Is the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Nick Hill, everybody.
Powerful. Thank you. It is now our pleasure to welcome those who are new to Unity Renaissance. If you are here today for the first, second, or third time, we invite you to raise your hand nice and high, holding up the appropriate number of fingers, 1, 2, or 3 for your first, second, or third visit. Welcome. Great. 2. Good. We have a gift for you. Keep your hands up till they come around, please. Special little bag of goodies for you to take home with you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to seeing you again and again. They'll get to you if you keep your hand. Everyone's pointing to you. So. We have one over here too. All right, beautiful. Welcome.
One more over there, against the wall. Yay, welcome.
There, Mary's on it. All right.
Okay, so if you want to learn more about Unity, or you're interested in becoming a new member, we've got some of our Paths to Discovery classes that are going to be happening. 3 more are happening in September. So next Wednesday at 6:30, or next Saturday at 10, or the following Monday at 6:30 again. So you take one of those classes, and that kind of then meets the requirement to be a new member. We're going to be welcoming and celebrating new members at our service on October 3rd. So sign up on the hall wall or the website or the app. There are multiple ways to sign up for the class. So if you're interested, just take a look at one of those dates.
Oh, we have a great new class starting up this Tuesday with the wonderful licensed Unity teacher, Cindy Mills, sitting right there. Wave your hand, Cindy. And this is a really great class. We could all use, speaking as someone who just enjoyed a great sabbatical, we can all use self-care. It really makes all the difference in the world. So I encourage you to take advantage of not only Cindy's wisdom, but all the great resources that she's assimilating for this class. That'll be at 10 o'clock on Tuesday mornings for 5 weeks. Starts this week, and you can register in the narthex again, or on our app, or on our website. And if you have questions, you can see Cindy after the service. Our web.
And for our little ones, we have the Outdoor Forest School for Children, ages 3 to 6. That's going to be starting this Thursday. So instructor Brian Egan is going to be taking kids out to do, free-range, hands-on, experiential learning to really appreciate the wonders that nature has to offer. So if you're interested in enrolling one of your little ones in this, please see be in the youth education area. She said it's actually a program that came out of Europe, and it sounds really cool and exciting. So good
nice
stuff coming our way.
Very wonderful. Speaking of great classes, the wonderful Katie Cook sitting right there, wave your hand, Katie, is leading 2 fantastic body, mind, spirit classes. One is Unity Yoga, 5:30 p.m. on Tuesdays, and the other is Easy Tai Chi. And that is at 4 o'clock on Thursdays. Katie is an absolutely gifted, centered, beautiful spiritual teacher, leads us through this class so wonderfully. And actually someone she has worked with before, and I believe was an instructor for her, Penny Hawes, is also one of our congregants here, and she's going to start offering a yoga class on Saturdays. That'll start this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. She's calling it Meditation in Motion, and again, you don't need to actually sign up for any of those things. You just show up for them, and we invite a love offering, but it's not required.
On Saturday, September 18th, we're going to have a 1-hour seminar on managing grief by Dr. Abby Tremblay. You know, many of us don't know how to deal with grief, what exactly grief is, how do you ease the suffering of grief, you know, and this will be a session led by Dr. Tremblay, an expert in grief, you know, who explains how can you work through this while still managing your day-to-day life. So it sounds like an incredible class. You know, love offering of $15 is suggested. You can sign up again on the hall wall, the website, or the app. So come and join us on Saturday for that.
And that class is being offered on Zoom as well as in person, so if that makes that more convenient for you. And just a quick note about that, you know, a lot of times people think of grieving if they've lost a loved one, and of course that's the obvious case, but the reality, as one of my ministerial school professors said, is unresolved grief is epidemic in our society. So there are many, many losses, even during the pandemic. We've had a lot of grief going on that we haven't really known how to process. So keep that in mind if you're evaluating whether that is of interest to you. And now it's our great pleasure to bring up the wonderful Quintina Harris, who's our new volunteer coordinator, who would like to make an announcement about next Sunday. I need to get her the mic.
Good morning, good morning. I am really excited to announce that next week we will be having a volunteer fair. What exactly is a volunteer fair? It is a time for you to give back your talents to your spiritual community. You'll be able to talk to so many people to let you know just what you can volunteer for. We have kitchen committee, we have ushers, greeters, our unity singers, our musicians. You can also help volunteer back in the back as being a clicker for the different
PowerPoint.
So please come out. Those of you who I gave stickers to today, could you all stand up? These are some of our volunteers.
Oh, nice. Way to
And they
go.
all have on stickers asking. Go and ask them, why do they volunteer? Strike up a conversation, and I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you.
All right. Tina, you're doing an awesome job getting our volunteers going again. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys, for the help.
So fun stuff, man. On Friday the 24th at 7 p.m., there's going to be a board game night in our fellowship hall. So this is going to be the first of hopefully many cool Friday night fun experiences, looking at doing these on the last Friday of each month. And Anna Vincent and Penny Hudson are kind of leading the effort to gather our community together for fun and fellowship. I was told to have you bring, if you want to bring a snack to share, go for that too, so we can have fun fellowship and food on Friday night.
Oh, that's good, Heidi. I like that. And next week, I'll be wrapping up this 3-part series on the nature of God. I'll be talking about God in nature and drawing on the wisdom of Emerson and Thoreau and some other great sources. So I know a lot of folks say they get their spiritual experience walking outside, being in nature, and there's actually a tremendous amount of wisdom there. So I hope you'll join us for that next week in person or online. With that, let's welcome in our children.
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we walking in the light of God. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God.
You may be seated. Hey kids, you look so beautiful today. It's wonderful to see you all here. Who would like to share what you learned today? We're reading. Oh, you're reading something. I did not know the drill. How's this going? How are you?
Reading first?
All right. You got it, James.
I choose to be excited.
Choose to be excited. Are you? Oh.
I can choose love.
I choose love. Did you have something about it?
Oh. I choose to smile.
To smile. Nice.
Love.
One more time.
Love.
I choose love. Yes. Do you have something? No?
God watches over me.
God watches over me.
I choose to.
Is it I
I
can?
can choose my world.
I can choose my world. I love it. Anything else? Did we make it to the end? Oh, you have another one?
I choose to be kind.
I choose to be kind. That's a great one. All right. Wonderful. It sounds like a wonderful class. Come on up, Jeremiah. You guys part and let him through here. How you doing?
Good.
Great.
Today we were talking about how like famous people or like billionaires, people thought they were failures and said they weren't smart or stuff. And we were just talking about how they proved them wrong and became
Nice.
famous
Success
billionaires.
stories.
Like Michael Jordan and them.
Like Michael Jordan. Beautiful. That's a good one. Thank you. All right. Okay, we good? All right, thank you. Let's all stand together now. And we're not going to join hands, but let's join in our prayer for protection, followed by our peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.